Hi, my name's Amelia Warner and I am a composer. I compose the music for Mary Shelley and I'll be there in Cologne talking about that in August. I started acting when I was 16, so I was really young. So it was kind of before I even knew what I wanted to do, to be honest. And then I think that composing to me just seemed really out of reach. It just seemed something that was very I don't know, just out of my sphere. And I just thought that's, I'd love to do that, but I can't. And then it was only kind of that I, started listening to more contemporary composers, I guess, and felt inspired by that. And the fact that maybe you don't have to be classically trained, and the fact that you can not have a, particular musical background, made it suddenly feel more accessible. And I think that music had always been something I'd done since I was, since I was about 2 or 3 years old. I started playing the piano, so it was such an important part of my life. But I'd never really considered the idea that I could make my living from doing it. It was always just a kind of passion. I didn't know that I'd be able to do it for for my work as well. I think probably, I don't know. I mean, it's different. It's been different with the different films that I've done. I think starting's always really, really hard. Just the very first kind of cue, or the very first couple of cues, are really difficult, because you've got the parameters are so big, and there's so many different ways you could go. And then I think once you start to commit to your kind of palette and your colours and then you kind of know where you are, and it gets a bit easier. And then a bit further along, there's that bit where you go, oh my God, I picked all the wrong colours and I want to start again. And that's always, a real kind of panicky moment, when you've gone too far down, and you start to question all of your choices. But I don't know, it just depends on the film. Like with Mary Shelley, there were just a couple of cues that were really, really tough. And I don't really know why. They just didn't work. Nothing I was doing was working, and that's frustrating. And you feel like you're never ever going to get it right. And you're like, they're going to have to get someone else in to write this one cue. And it was the same with Mum's List, the film I did before. There was just maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 cues that just never took a really, really long time to work. And again, I don't really know why. It's funny, that just happens sometimes. But then, hopefully you get there in the end. I don't know. I mean, I think it is changing. I mean, I think there's definitely seem to be, a lot of brilliant composers that are female, and I really don't know. I mean, I think it's probably like anything else. Composing is really intense work, and I guess if you have a family, I have 3 young children, and it's hard because what's expected of you as a composer, it's a very short window of time that you have to complete the score. And there's no space for family, there's no space for, and I'm lucky that I've managed to make it work. But look, I've only done 1 film a year. I'm not able to do more than that at the moment, really, because of it's because of just how you're expected to work is not realistic for somebody who has a family. It's just not, unless there's somebody else at home looking after the kids, because you're expected to just be working all the kind of waking hours of the day. So I think that that's a big thing. I think that there needs to be a more realistic way, and I think people need to be given more time, and there needs to be more kind of I don't know, flexibility for women to be able to work. And then I think also, I think the thing that maybe needs to change a bit is that I think that, something like Mary Shelley was great because it was a female protagonist, and I think that everybody felt from the beginning they wanted a female composer because it was about a woman, it was directed by a woman, and I think that's brilliant. But I think it also just needs to be across the board. Like even if it's an action film that's that's very masculine, there's no reason that a woman couldn't write music for that film, just in the way that, like, you know, Alexander Desplat's going to write the music to Little Women, or, you know what I mean? There's kind of just, you know, there's it doesn't need to be, I think it's dangerous if we get into a kind of place where it's just women writing very women centric stories, writing music. I think that it needs to be an even playing field, and that everybody needs to, you know, that women should be considered for all genres and all types of film, because all women have different style of music, and not all women write feminine music. So I think that that, yeah, that's what I think.